only thing I would say that hurt me was the way she was treating me after my mom passed away.
You won't believe what Sky Victor just exposed through tears.
0 people check up on us. If you know you're my mom's friend, you have never come to our house. You have never come to check up on us.
The people who stood at her mother's funeral made promises in front of everyone and then completely disappeared.
So they never come. They never check up on me or Danny. They never check up on us. After my mom went, they also went. So no one, hey guys, no one. Even these ones you're saying, I don't mention, no one.
But that's not even the most shocking part. In a heartbreaking confession, Sky breaks down as she reveals how her late mom's so-called friends were all fake. Yes, fake. They cried at the burial. They promised to always be there. They swore she and her little brother Danny would never be alone. And then, silence. No calls, no visits, no support, nothing.
So they never come. They never check up on me or Danny.
But wait till you hear what she says about what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. It gets worse. Through tears, Sky admits she's been forced to grow up way too fast, sacrificing her own childhood just to protect her little brother. Imagine being young, grieving your mother, and realizing the adults who promised to step up never meant a word. She says she had no choice but to become the parent overnight. And what she reveals about the funeral promises will leave you speechless. Were they ever really her mom's friends? Why has no one checked on her and Danny? And what finally made Sky speak out now? This isn't just a story about betrayal. It's about fake love, broken promises, and a young girl forced to become stronger than she ever should have had to be.
Me, I woke up one morning, Naskia, Sky, una trend. I'm like, hold on, who and who is trending? Me, your dad, by dad I mean Tash. Baba is Kanyare, dad is Tash.
Stay till the end, because what she says next changes everything.
And then, if people say I'm rude, I don't want to address anyone directly.
What you're about to witness is one of the most raw, unfiltered, and heartbreaking testimonies ever shared by a young celebrity on social media. Sky Victor, daughter of the late entertainment icon, has broken her silence in the most devastating way possible. In a video that has now gone viral across multiple platforms, Sky did something most people are too afraid to do. She looked directly into the camera, tears flooding her eyes, voice cracking with pain, and called out every single person who stood at her mother's graveside, making promises they had zero intention of keeping. This isn't just about broken promises. This is about a teenage girl and her younger brother, Danny, left to navigate grief, survival, and adulthood completely alone. No phone calls, no visits, no check-ins, nothing. The very people who gave emotional speeches, who posted condolence messages on social media, who claimed they would always be there for the kids, vanished like smoke the moment the burial ended. But that's not all.
They never check up on us. After my mom went, they also went. So, no one, hey guys, no one. Even these ones you're saying, I don't want to mention, no one.
Wait till you see what happened next, because Sky's testimony reveals something far deeper, far more painful, and far more common than anyone wants to admit. Let's rewind to the day that changed everything for Sky and Danny Victor. The burial of their mother was a major event. Celebrities, influencers, industry veterans, family friends, they all showed up. The tributes were endless. The speeches were moving. The tears seemed genuine. Person after person took to the microphone, declaring their love for the late icon, sharing memories, and making one promise after another to the grieving children standing right there in front of everyone. We will take care of you. You'll never be alone. Call me anytime, day or night. Your mother was my sister. so you're my children now." These weren't whispers. These were public declarations made in front of witnesses, recorded on video, shared across social media platforms for the world to see. Sky remembers every single word. She remembers the hugs, the tears, the hands on her shoulders. She remembers being told she was loved. She remembers the reassurance that she and Danny would be okay because so many people cared. And for a brief moment, she believed it. For a brief moment in the midst of the most painful experience of her young life, she felt a sliver of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't have to face this nightmare alone. But that hope didn't last long. Because what happened after the burial, or rather what didn't happen, is where the real story begins. And trust me, you need to hear this, because it exposes a pattern that happens far too often in our society. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Sky's phone, silent. The doorbell never rang. The people who promised to check in never did. Not a single one of those influential friends, those aunties and uncles who cried at the funeral, reached out to see how two young people were coping with the loss of their mother. Sky describes it as the loudest silence she's ever experienced. Think about that for a second. Imagine losing your mother, the one person who has been your entire world, and then watching everyone who claimed to care about you just vanish. No groceries dropped off, no invitations to come over for dinner, no text messages asking, "How are you holding up?" No financial support, no emotional support, nothing. It's one thing to forget a casual acquaintance, but these were people who stood at a burial and made solemn promises in front of a grieving community. Sky and Danny were left to figure out life on their own. Bills, school, meals, grief counseling, legal paperwork, living expenses, emotional breakdowns in the middle of the night. All of it handled by a teenager who should have been worrying about exams, friendships, and her future, not whether there's enough money to keep the lights on. But here's where it gets even more painful, and this is the part Sky broke down while explaining. She didn't just lose her mother, she lost her childhood. Because the day her mother died, Sky had to become the adult. Sky Victor is not yet 20 years old. Let that sink in. She's supposed to be living her life, chasing dreams, making mistakes, learning, growing, being young. Instead, she's been forced into a role she never asked for, parenting her younger brother Danny, a responsibility that should have been shared by the so-called village that promised to show up. In her tearful video, Sky opened up about the weight of this forced maturity. She talks about waking up every morning with a knot in her stomach, not from her own grief, but from the fear that she's not doing enough for Danny. She talks about lying awake at night wondering if she made the right decision about school, about finances, about their future. She talks about hiding her own breakdowns because Danny needs to see her strong. She talks about skipping therapy sessions because the money needed to go towards something more urgent. She talks about growing up fast, faster than anyone should ever have to. And the most heartbreaking part? She doesn't blame her mother. She doesn't even blame life. She blames the people who lied, the ones who acted like they cared when the cameras were rolling, but disappeared the moment the performance was over. This is what Sky calls funeral tourism. Showing up for the event, for the appearance, for the social media post, but not for the aftermath, not for the real work of love and support. And she's absolutely right. Because here's the hard truth that nobody wants to admit. Our society has normalized performative grief. We've normalized showing up to cry publicly, but failing to show up privately when it actually matters. We've normalized making grand promises at emotional moments without any intention of keeping them. And Sky Victor, in her pain and her courage, is holding up a mirror to all of that hypocrisy. But wait, there's more to this story, and it gets even more revealing. Now here's where Sky's video took a turn that nobody expected. She didn't just speak in general terms. She didn't just vent her frustration into the void. She started calling people out, not by name, but by description. And trust me, people in the industry know exactly who she's talking about. The woman who said she'd take me shopping every month, I haven't heard from her once. The man who promised to mentor Danny and be a father figure, he blocked me on social media. The family friend who collected money on our behalf, we never saw a single cent, and when I asked about it, I was told to be grateful and stop being entitled. The celebrity who posted a 10-slide tribute on Instagram about how much my mother meant to her. She didn't even reply to my message when I reached out for advice. Each statement a dagger, each revelation a betrayal. Sky's voice cracked multiple times during this part of the video. You could see the pain, the exhaustion, the disillusionment with people she once looked up to. And the internet responded immediately. The comment sections exploded. People began sharing their own stories of being abandoned after loss. Others started speculating about which industry figures Sky was referring to. Some supported her bravery. Others criticized her for airing dirty laundry publicly. But here's the thing. Sky addressed that criticism head on. She said, and I quote, "They made their promises publicly, so I'm holding them accountable publicly. If you didn't want to be called out, you shouldn't have lied at my mother's grave." Powerful. And she's right. There's a social contract that gets made when you stand in front of a grieving family and make promises. You're not just speaking words, you're giving hope. And when you break that hope, there are consequences. Now, some people are worried that this public confrontation might backfire, that it could create enemies in the industry, that it might complicate things for Sky and Danny moving forward. And those concerns aren't entirely unfounded. Going public against influential figures can have repercussions. It can divide communities. It can lead to retaliatory statements or damage relationships that might still hold some value. But here's what those critics are missing. Within hours of posting her emotional testimony, Sky's video had millions of views. The support was overwhelming. People from all over the world reached out, not with empty promises, but with genuine offers of help. Some sent groceries, some offered tutoring for Danny, others shared resources for young people navigating guardianship and grief. But more importantly, conversations started happening. So what can we learn from Sky's story? It's simple. Show up. Not just at the funeral, not just in the comments, not just when it's convenient. Show up when it's hard. Show up when nobody's watching. Show up consistently, quietly, and genuinely. If Sky's story moved you, share this video. Let's get this message out there. Let's start holding each other accountable. And if you've ever been in Sky's position, drop a comment below. Your story matters too. Subscribe for more stories that matter. Hit that notification bell, and remember, promises made in grief are sacred. Let's start treating them that way. I'll see you in the next one.